A word in season to the weary, daily meditations from the ministry of Brother Bakht Singh. May 14th. Then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul. Psalm 124, 4 and 5. The troubles that came to David were like floods. Floods often come suddenly when people are not at all prepared to face them. For several years there may not have been any flood. Then one year they come suddenly and they bring much damage to lives, cattle, and crops. In our lives also there are occasions when the enemy comes upon us like a flood from most unexpected sources or at an unexpected time of life. The devil can work against us through friends or relations. Those whom we love, respect, and admire sometimes rise up against us. It is good to be warned beforehand that such situations are possible. At such times we have a promise from the Lord in Psalm 124:2 that He will give us victory. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us. Notice the words, the Lord was on our side. Even though we try our best to get help from other sources, we find that they all fail. In the end, the Lord alone comes to our aid. Paul says in 2 Timothy 4:16, "No man stood with me, but all men forsook me." But he continues in the next verse, "Notwithstanding the Lord stood with me and strengthened me, that by me the preaching might be fully known, and that all the Gentiles might hear, and I was delivered out of the mouth of the lion." Thus he was able to preach the gospel boldly in the midst of his enemies. When the enemy saw that there was no one with Paul and yet he preached boldly, he was defeated. So God allows us to be forsaken and left alone without help from friends, relations, or others. But he helps us in that situation so that his name may be magnified through us. For the same purpose, David had to go through much persecution from King Saul for 8 years. At the end, he was able to say in Psalm 18:17, "He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me." Not a single friend came to his help. Saul was after his life and attempted to kill him thrice. His own people did not give him any protection. He could find no shelter in the house of God. Strangers were afraid of him. Eventually, he hid himself in a cave called Adullam. It was there that the Lord became very close and precious to him. He stayed in that cave for many days. He had to pray and depend upon God for everything, for food, protection, and shelter. Those 400 men who came to be his companions were also men who were in trouble and debt, 1 Samuel 22:1 and 2. Not a single person was able to help him in all his difficulties and troubles, yet the Lord helped them. Thus we find through all our troubles, afflictions, and trials, we are drawn very close to him. We can prove his faithfulness in all our afflictions when there is no one to help us. In Psalm 66:10-12, we read that David was taken to a large, wealthy place. So in order to bring us to large, wealthy place spiritually, he will take us through refining fires and painful trials. God bless you. Praise the Lord.